We're going to continue this conversation now. Bring back in Jennifer Kern. She is a contributor for the Daily Caller in the Hill. Richard Roth, he's a Democratic strategist and founder and partner of the Roth law firm. Guys, we're talking about Roger Stone there. I'm reporting about what's happening with the latest with that. And Judge Amy Berman Jackson not wanting to recuse herself from this, even though we see a little bit of bias there. Jennifer, what are your thoughts on that? Is the judge doing the right thing here?
Well, this is like a bad CBS sitcom. Wasn't there a sitcom in the 90s called Judge Amy? I mean, this is a bad situation. Look, this sets the precedent that if you are a Trump appointee or a Trump associate or fundraiser or strategist, you get the book thrown at you with biased judges, biased prosecutors, and a biased process. But if you're an Obama or a Clinton appointee or political associate, you get off scot-free. And I think that sends a terrible message. The good news is this is one of the driving factors in the 2020 presidential election is that silent majority across America who is very upset about the injustice in this country. So what is bad for Roger Stone, it could be potentially very bad, is actually good for President Trump on the ballot come November.
Jennifer, there's a song in this show, Hamilton, The Room Where It Happens, okay? The room where it happens with this judge. She signed the search warrant. She signed the arrest. She signed the indictment. She ruled on every bit of evidence that went in trial. She ruled on hearsay. She ruled on everything. And she believes, as everyone in this country believes, that even though, notwithstanding the fact that this is Mr. Trump's friend, stay out. You don't know what happened here. You don't know what the evidence is. There were jurors who deliberated for a long time and weighed the evidence and ruled on the case. Donald Trump doesn't like it. It's not his. He should not be inserting himself in this. And the judge is right to be upset because she shouldn't recuse herself. Quite frankly, she's been working with the prosecutor, the defense counsel for, if not months, years on this. And to have the president tell the Department of Justice that he should get a more lenient sentence because he's my friend it's ridiculous. Donald Trump was not in that room. Donald Trump knows nothing about what happened to that trial. So to sit there and say it's a farce, it's just Donald Trump.
Well, let me ask you this really quick. So 40 months is what he got. He didn't get the 7 years, 9 years, some odd years that was being recommended. He got the 40 months, not being executed just yet. So my question is, let's say that goes into effect. Does Trump commute that sentence? Does he not? How does that look for the president?
So he may commute it. He may pardon him, and he has the right to do that under our system. What he doesn't have a right to do is butt in before the sentencing, and it's very common. I'm a trial attorney, and it's very common where the prosecutor seeks a long sentence, the defense says just parole, and then the judge makes a decision. So Trump can do whatever he wants now. But butt out, Donald. Just don't get involved in the process.
The president did not give up his right of his First Amendment right to free speech. He didn't give up the right to tweet. And look, thank God he didn't, because this is his number one means of communicating with the people of the United States. If he had given it up, I think he would have actually been impeached and removed. Had he not given up that tool. Is he tweeting about it? Yes. Is inappropriate?
Should he be tweeting about his question? Should the Department of Justice, who's not in the room where it happened, actually be determining Stone's fate? Or should it be the people, the 4 prosecutors who work for the Supreme Court, who work for the Department of Justice?
Barr is the top law enforcement officer of the land. If he sees that there's undue bias, he can insert himself at any time.
And how does he see that? He's got 4 seasoned prosecutors who combined years equals like 250 years of being
because he and his office have reviewed thousands and thousands of pages of legal documents. They read the case just like you and I do.
It? Or is it that Donald Trump is not happy his friends being
Barr
convicted?
has said he did not let the president's tweets influence him. I believe
he's very frustrated as well.
I want a quick answer from you on this one. Should Judge Amy Berman Jackson have recused herself? Your legal expertise, why or why not?
Absolutely not. First of all, it is very hard to get a judge to recuse herself. Once in my career, spending close to 40 years, that I have a federal court judge recuse herself, never a state court judge. It's very hard. You have to show some fundamental bias. Is there a relationship between one of the parties and the judge? Does the judge have stock in the company that's on trial? There's nothing like that here. This is just Donald Trump trying to insert himself. Absolutely, she should never have, and she shouldn't recuse herself.
How significant is the visit today? I'm switching complete topics here. Let's go to the other. How significant is Trump's visit to India today?
I think very significant. You know, it sends the message that, India is a great trading partner. It sends a great message to China in the wake of this coronavirus that may be further disrupting trade and products coming out of China. It does send a strong message that we've got strategic partners elsewhere around the world. So I think it's quite significant. It also gives the president a great boost because even Mr. Roth here was willing to compliment the president as he's on foreign soil because you're a gentleman, if nothing else. And I think it's a positive for the United States of America to extend this olive branch to India and show this great partnership.
It
of the
is
two
a positive.
countries.
And the thing about Donald Trump that we all have to acknowledge, whether we like it or not, is that this guy is a good marketer. And he's using this as a boost, as a TV boost. Somebody who was sitting in this chair last hour said it was Bollywood, and that's what this was. This is Donald Trump doing his thing.
It's The Apprentice meets Bollywood.
110,000 people in that auditorium.
Yeah, it's no different than when he had a State of the Union, when he was giving this one a washing machine and this one a gold medal and this one a scholarship. Donald Trump is good at that. And so if he's good at that, his campaign tactic is to get out there. People across the country are going to see what a strong event it was, and Indian Americans are going to like it. So it was a very good political
And
maneuver.
if you look at the president's foreign travel schedule, it's been very strategic. To the ballot box, he's gone to Poland and given speech about energy. That is specifically targeted back to the Polish community in swing states and swing towns in Pennsylvania. And going to India, also getting that Indian American vote. I mean, this is a president who's thinking globally and also strategically at home. It's brilliant to look at the calendar overlay.
But that being said, we don't know who is the candidates.
Well, that's what I want to talk to. Let's get back to the campaign really quick and what's happening right now. Bernie Sanders coming out as the front runner with how many delegates he's achieving so far. What is the concern here? Socialism, Bernie Sanders. Is there a fear for the Democratic Party?
So the concern is that there's a saying, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. And what Donald Trump's got going for himself right now is the economy works. Internationally, we can debate forever whether he's doing well or not, but the economy is working. We all acknowledge that. And if Bernie Sanders brings an alternative to the current economic philosophy and the current economic mandate, then there are people that are going to sway toward Donald Trump. That's why I think Bernie Sanders, quite frankly, is not electable unless we get some kind of a bubble and something happens between now and November, between coronavirus, which apparently is affecting the markets today, and other things that can happen. Then maybe there will be some switch to Bernie Sanders. But if it's not broken, then you got to have a Michael Bloomberg or a Joe Biden or somebody who's more moderate to bring those Democrats within the party and bring Republicans who don't like Donald Trump. A lot of people don't like Donald Trump, to bring them back to the Democratic
Party.
Party.
You to a contested convention if this plays that.
That's right. And look, I think Bernie's purpose right now, he has said, and Marianne Williamson just said in her endorsement, it's our time. That does not exude a conciliatory message at all. This tells you the socialists in the party think it's their turn, and they are going to either burn down Milwaukee if there is a contested convention, or they're going to burn down the Democratic Party in the process. And it's going to be sad to see, but it may have to do that. The biggest problem for the Democrats, lastly, is there's no real adult in the room. There's no one, a strong head at the DNC that can come and kind of talk some sense into people, ask some people to get out of the race, sort of strategically change the map that's going to come on Super Tuesday. There's nobody in the room that can do that. James Carville has tried to do that, but the young kids, most who turned out in Nevada, they think James Carville, I mean, we all think he's cool. They think he's grandpa yelling to get off their lawn.
But let's not forget, in 2016, it wasn't much different. Who would have thought Donald Trump would have won the nomination and even the election? So nobody, I mean, certainly I didn't. I don't know if you did. Maybe
16
you did.
Republican candidates. I mean, it was
there were 16. So it is. I do think there are adults in the room. I think that there are adults who can actually beat Donald Trump and some that can't. And the further left you go, the harder chance you have. And that's the concern we have with Bernie Sanders. Michael Bloomberg has not put a dollar into advertising in Nevada. Let's see what happens next week.
I think it was, we were watching for Bloomberg at the debate stage for Nevada. Now we're going to be watching for Joe Biden. I think this is, we're waiting for that time there. All right, we appreciate both of you coming on this. Jennifer Kearns, contributor for the Daily Caller and The Hill. Richard Roth, Democratic strategist and founder and partner of the Roth law firm. Guys, thanks so much for coming on.